Okay, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Today's going to be sort of a fencing extravaganza. I'm going to sort of go through a bunch of different titles with a focus on swordplay simulation. I believe I've mentioned both on stream a couple times and in various communities I'm a part of that I am a classically trained fencer. I studied British military saber and Italian side sword, as well as a bit of a smattering of German longsword. So I was really excited to see what kind of games could offer a sort of simulated fencing experience. And this was sort of my the first one I ran into, Sword Master VR, and of course as soon as I look at the title, Steam bugs out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the game crashed. I think it might have. We're gonna have to restart it, unfortunately. That is unfortunate. We'll go ahead and get this started back up again. I appear to be speaking to no one, unfortunately, but I guess such is the risk. So we're just gonna get started then, and hopefully people will show up. Oh, that's the tutorial. This game is pretty basic. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just start playing through the novice levels here. Let's see, my primary hand, I want cutlass. I don't know if that's a cutlass or a saber, honestly. Sometimes you can't tell. And we'll go without a shield. To start, you just grab the sword and so basically they move around you, leave weak spots open, and you can block their swings realistically. Kind of realistically. This is a very short blade, unfortunately. It's cut from guard to guard. Guard to guard. This guy's bigger and he's got sort of a plate on him. Sadly, you can't really cut at their legs. Send him tumbling over that way. Ooh. Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty basic game. It's not too frilly or fancy. So I'm actually going to swap. See, I'm trained with this, but if you look at the stats, it kind of sucks because you can't stab with it and it's really short. So instead, we're going to switch to a rapier. because I have also had a little bit of experience with that, and for some reason you can deal damage when you withdraw your blade as well from a stab. So, what the heck, we'll be Weiss. Yeah, you can't leave your side open like that, dude. All them skeletons. Wait, if a skeleton were to clap like that, would it actually make noise? Because there isn't any flesh there to slap like this. That's what makes the noise when you clap. Yeah, you can see on the crenellations there, so there was 5 opponents, and it's an O if you haven't killed them yet, and an X once you have. I kind of overreact to ow, to when you strike their shield. See, okay. Oh, 2 of them now. See, with a rapier, it's less about putting your blade directly in the path of their strike, and more about redirecting it, because your blade is so thin and nimble. You make an opening, and you punish it. Yeah, if you move in that close, that shield's not going to do you too much good. Oh dear. Whoa! Ha! You flew! He flew! You may notice I'm playing on Novice. That's because the simulation isn't actually all that good, because there's no physics behind it. Like, none at all. So... okay, so I'm actually going to... I don't know, actually I can... oh, survival, this is new. Okay, so with survival here, we're actually going to go and switch styles up a little bit more and grab a buckler. Basically, a buckler is used as a little bit of extra defense for your hands. It's a tiny little shield that's nimble enough that you can put it anywhere you need to. Instead of a big kite shield that you have to hide behind, a buckler is a more active defense. Because you can put it where it needs to go. Now, you wouldn't really tend to use a buckler with a rapier usually. Usually you would use it with a side sword or a saber or maybe a broadsword. Oh dear. Well, it's something of an extra defense, though, so that is at least helpful. It's those quick little jabbing strikes that are sort of the cornerstone of rapier use. Whatever. Whatever, we'll try this survival thing one more time. And then move on. Because honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of patience for this because of how kind of borked it is. So, for the sake of having a slash, we're going to swap to the katana. Like I said, this isn't really the combination you'd use, but now with some slashing power, and some actual reach, it would help. So you may think, oh, you're hitting a lot of armor there, but no, their hitboxes are just really big. Like, that should have gone clean through. What do you mean, best 0? See, they keep bumping into my shield and then going, oh, I've been hit! No, you ran into my buckler. You didn't even run into it, you just kind of nudged it. Oot, see? And sword and buckler is sort of less of a dueling style and more of a soldier's style of fighting. This is what you'd use on the battlefield in service of the king. But you can tell by the amount of clanging and cluttering that when they get in close like this, and there's a whole lot of them, the game kind of falls apart, because the animations aren't too terribly well done. The hitboxes for everything kind of suck. This came out in sort of the early days of the Vive and Oculus. This was one of those early titles that's like, oh, let's see what we can do. Oh no. Also, see that guy holding a sword backhand? Yeah, nobody does that. Unless they want to die. Because you really don't have a lot of flexibility for strikes you can throw from an ice pick grip. Because of just the way your skeleton is built. And I'm probably about to die just because this game's detection is balls. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna give up on this. It wasn't bad for what it was, but already starting off, you could tell that the potential was being wasted. So instead, we're going to go for something a bit more modern with something proper hit detection. We're going to switch to Fruit Ninja VR. This was actually gifted to a friend of mine who lives with me. You may have heard her come in and out on previous streams. But she was kind enough to share her library with me, so we're going to give this a shot. And just wait for it to load. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with the concept of Fruit Ninja. There is fruit in the air. You slice the fruit. And there's a couple different modes of slicing the fruit. And of course, there's arcade mode, there's classic mode, zen mode, and survival mode. I hate survival mode with a burning passion because it cheats. It throws fruit at you in ways that you can't hit in one strike. Like, it'll throw you fruit at you, in which case you would have to slice like that. You know, in sort of an arc. And anyone who has done any amount of actual sword training will tell you that if you try to cut like that, you're going to screw up your edge alignment and the entire thing is going to get ruined. So, we're not going to play survival at all. Also, anyone who's played the mobile version of Fruit Ninja will know that there's a ton of customization options, different swords, different strikes, different backgrounds, all sorts of things. Here, there's a grand total of 4 swords in the game. Total. Every sword that's ever been added. 4, including the base one. There's the basic one, which is a ninjato, not a katana. Katanas are curved. There's this Christmas blade. It was part of an event, and then they added it so that everyone has it. There's sort of a broadsword, sort of a falchion that you unlock by killing 1,000 pineapples. Haven't done that yet. And then there's a 4th one that's super rare. There's only 400. and there's a number of them on the Steam Marketplace. It's sort of like a bat blade. Honestly, it's kind of like a Chinese Dao. But there were only 400 of them because it was only given to the top 400 people in a competition that happened Halloween 2016, I think. And then after that, it was locked off. You can't get it anymore. Those are all the customization options that are in the game. All of them. It's extremely disappointing. I'm not happy with it. So we're just going to use the Ninja Toe. And of course, also something that anyone who does any amount of sword training will tell you, dual wielding sucks. It just doesn't work. So we're going to play some arcade mode to start with. And of course, you gotta avoid the bombs. Everyone kind of knows that. Double points, that's always nice. I wish that you could get, like... And there's a lot of bonuses for cutting through a whole bunch of fruit in one strike. I really wish that there was a bonus you could get for cutting a bunch of individual fruits with only one strike per fruit over and over. What? I barely tapped that. It was already behind me and out of view, and I kind of tapped it. That's bullshit. Honestly, Fruit Ninja VR is really, really badly designed when you compare it to the mobile version. The mobile version is really polished and really nice. It's sort of like one of the... Honestly, you could call it a classic, an example of a classic mobile game. This is kind of a butchered port. And surprisingly enough, even with a Ninja Toe, you can do false edge cuts. Which is weird because there isn't a false edge on this blade. It's completely flat. So being able to do that and have it actually cut things is a little weird. And I don't like it. But that's arcade mode. We're gonna go ahead and play some classic now. gotta try and cut from the wrist more than from the elbow. Damn it! Why does one bomb stop it? I don't recall that being how it worked in the mobile version. I remember it just counting as a strike. Damn, now I want a smoothie. That is a giant blueberry. What the fuck? I didn't even hit it. So basically, there's three types of, at least in the system I was taught. There's sort of three strengths of strike. There's cuts from the wrist, where you just sort of turn your arm, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that. There's cuts from the elbow, which have a bit more power, but of course they're a tiny bit slower to throw because you have to wind up for them. And then there's big winding cuts from the shoulder, which of course have a lot of power behind them, but they're really telegraphed. And then there's also a technique called the Molinet, in which you sort of allow the weight of the sword to spin it around and then snap it forward, like so. It's a little harder to do with a Vive controller because you can see, and this is a thing with most swords, you see, the sword's grip is not a circle. It's not a perfect cylinder. It's an oval. And that flatness is parallel to the flat of the blade. So you can, without even looking, tell what your edge alignment is like. However, the Vive controllers, and I have no way to show you this, unfortunately, the Vive controllers are rotated 90 degrees from that. So while the edge of the blade may be like this, the flatness of the Vive controller is perpendicular to that. So it's like this. So it's a little hard to actually hold this and fence properly because it doesn't rotate properly in your hand. To the point where I'm worried I would drop it if I tried to Molinet. Even now, it's kind of... See, I do have the wrist strap on, so this isn't a terribly bad idea. So I'm worried that this is just going to be like, oh! And that's not something you want to do when you're fencing, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I'm. It's not a terrible game. It is. I just call it a butchered port because it is really way too picky about hitboxes, or rather, it isn't picky enough. It's way too easy. Like, I could just kind of nick something and it would still count as a hit. And unfortunately, that counts for both the fruit and the bombs. So even if you barely tap a bomb at the end of your strike, even if you stop, it still blows up. And even if there's a bomb over here from where it had previously come up here and you ignored it successfully, and then there was another one. Oh, whoop, tink, shit. And I think that really, really is bullshit. It leads to a very unenjoyable experience. So, unsurprisingly, I prefer Zen mode. It features a lot less of the bullshit. That really is an enormous blueberry. I don't think it's... No, it doesn't even take into account edge alignment. Watch, I'm gonna just start smacking things with the flat of a blade. No wonder I keep hitting things that I shouldn't be hitting. The game has no concept of whether or not a cut would actually cut. Just goes, oh, is the blade moving fast enough? And through this hitbox? Yes? Okay. It doesn't take into account the alignment at all. Not in the least. I missed that lemon. So we'll do Zen mode one more time, and then we'll back out to Gorn. Because there was an update for Gorn released recently. And I've only gotten to play it through once. And doing other things like H3VR and such. And playing a lot of Skyrim recently. Because, you know, everyone's got to have that one game that just sucks their life away. For me, that's Skyrim. Because I'm a big, like, D&D nerd. Actually, I prefer playing, like, Ranger or Paladin. I've played Fighter on occasion, mainly just for the flexibility it offers. I'm not really the type to just go, I hit it with my sword. I hit it with my sword. I do like to play something of a charismatic role in the party during RP sessions, like roleplay, sort of intrigue moments. But I like, being able to be sort of a powerhouse in combat. So we're gonna go ahead and back out of Fruit Ninja VR. There's a dragon fruit there, and we never get to attack it. Bothers me a lot. It's sort of like a Chekhov's gun kind of thing. Okay. What? Oh, paused it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get Gorn started up. And actually, I'm going to be right back. I need to hydrate real quick, take a brief break, get a little bit of the sweat out of my hair. Now would be a good time for an intermission. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, intermission is ending. Get out of the bathroom, grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and sit down. We're about to jump into Gorn. Like I mentioned, they did have an update that got pushed recently. Whatever, we'll launch it from my library. I'll put the wrist straps on here. Always Wii responsibly. And my controllers are getting a little low on battery, that's unfortunately. What you made us, first off, new title screen. Woo! It's a mountain. Or, it's a rock. It's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. Whoa. Whoa, that was weird. I don't know if you guys could see that. But they did add a couple of new things. First off, they added a nighttime arena for champion battles. So we're going to go ahead and launch champion battle real quick just to... Oh, it's an easy one. You. But behold, nighttime. Okay. Big fat Jabba the Hutt-like emperor. And heads with no bodies. That's kind of disturbing. The Berserker! Yay! This guy's a total pushover. But I really like this night arena. It really helps emphasize the shadows and the new blood effects that they added, which are a lot more impressive than this guy, for certain. But the new blood effects, let me just get closer to this guy and I'll show you. God, this guy's hilarious. But look, it's on my weapon now. And it's all shiny and stuff. And it drips. Oh my god, I took his forearm clean off. And I lost tracking there. Well... Come on. Damn. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Hey! I actually grew up in Wisconsin, so I can do that. Of course, anyone who gets that is probably not my target audience. Like, I should be too young to get that reference. But whatever. So we're just going to go back into... No, actually, let's just go into the regular arena and see what happens. See what we get. Oh. I'll grab that. And, you know, this bothers me a lot. This is not a rapier. This is a parrying dagger at best. It's not a rapier. No, 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 no. So grab this axe. Nice broadhead axe. And you may notice that they also added some new armor for the baddies. Leather armor. Which is a lot easier to knock off than the steel armor that they had previously. But I want to grab this great sword here to show you, gentle people, that they also supposedly they supposedly, quote unquote, fixed/improved two-handed weapons. So previously, you see my lower hand here, I would previously be able to rotate it I'd previously be able to like rotate it to change the edge alignment of my blade. Now I don't even know. It seems to work, but I don't like it because I don't have any actual control over it. It just sort of happens. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to just trust that it'll align itself with my strikes. I don't know. Tell you what, we'll keep this greatsword, this big old Widowmaker here. Oh, that's the other new addition here. They added a quote-unquote katana. Now, you know how I said that it's not a katana in Fruit Ninja VR? This is even less of a katana. Now, I'm about to drop some friggin' history here, so hold tight. Hold tight, people. Hold on to your pants. See, the way a katana is constructed is you take a sword blank and you hammer it out, fold it, hammer it out, fold it, hammer it out, fold it, hammer it out, fold it. And you do all of that, constantly reheating the metal to keep it at a workable temperature. Only after you're done hammering and folding it and hammering it and refolding it do you quench it. You see, the way a katana is constructed in terms of the metallurgy is it actually contains two different metals. There's a metal that forms what's called the jacket of the blade, which is sort of the back edge of it and along. Hang on, let me see if I can get a point. This'll do. Along here and off the back end, that's the jacket of the blade, and that's a softer, more flexible metal that allows the blade to have some more. It allows it to have a little bit more flex so that it doesn't shatter the moment that you hit something with it. Oh, I'm flipping the birds that are throwing rocks at me. We'll point with our thumb, I guess. This'll do. And then, of course, there's the blade, which is nestled inside of the jacket and runs along here and up here. And that is a harder, more brittle metal that holds an edge much, much better than the softer metal that forms the jacket. Once you put those two together and you folded them and you've hammered them out, you folded them, you've hammered them out, you folded them, you've hammered them out, then you quench the blade. Now, once you quench the blade, because of the physics of having the jacket. What was that? What was that gesture? Whatever. Because of the physics of having the jacketed material nestled inside of each other, when you quench the sword and the rapid cooling forces the material to contract, it forces the blade to take on its unique curve. That's why every katana, as a rule, if it is a katana, it is curved. If it's not curved, it is either a ninja toe or a wall hanger piece of shit that you bought at the Asian shop at the mall. Okay? There is no such thing as a properly forged katana that is not curved. This is not a katana. First off, it's bolted to the hilt. No. Point A. Second, it's not curved. Again, this is a ninja toe at best. However, it's short as fuck. Like, really. This is about 1.5 feet of blade. A proper katana. Shit. I would like to emphasize this. This is important, by the way. Blade length is very important for the sake of blade classification. A proper katana is a two-handed weapon. A quote-unquote one-handed katana is a wakizashi. Now, yeah, samurai would typically carry both a katana and a wakizashi, but this is important. Dropping history again. A katana should be about that long. Yeah. Thirdly, again, going back to the metallurgy of the construction of a katana would not chip like this. See all these dents and dings along the blade? Absolutely. Oh, it has a false edge too. Katana don't have false edges. They don't. No. They just don't. But you see all these dents and dings? A katana wouldn't do that. Katana don't chip. They might along the cutting edge. Maybe. Because of the hardness and brittleness of the material. However, because of the material the jacket is made of, a katana doesn't actually have flex. Like a typical European sword does have flex, and it has a good amount of it too. And that's to keep the sword from breaking when you hit stuff with it. But a katana doesn't do this. If you were to take a real katana and you were to force it like this, it would stay like that forever. You would have fucked that katana. Okay? Katana do not have that amount of flex. So, I'm sorry, no, that's not a katana. It's not a katana, it's not a katana. Don't tell me it's a katana. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck all y'all. So, I think you can probably tell by my tone and the things I've complained about specifically, I don't like this update. I think it broke some things that it tried to fix, and it added some things that really, really sucked. And we got minor lighting effects, we got some more blood effects. Ooh. So, whatever. We're going to do something here. We're going to play with the mobility cestus. No, actually, we're gonna play as Link, sort of. Just make our way down to the custom game mode here. Alright, so the way cesti work, you may notice I'm a little bit smaller than I was before. In the custom game mode, I turned down the height a bit, so I am now standing at my actual natural height of 5'4", as opposed to this big burly motherfucker, who's probably about 6 foot. So I have the mobility cestus, which lets me go like that. Whoa! Oh yeah, I have the gravity turned down as well, so I can basically fly. But I also have a claw shot. which is also... Wow, I don't recall it having that much friggin' range, but... I wonder if I can... Huh. But I can grab things with this. It is affected by gravity, so I have to kind of... I can... I wonder what happens if I... Oh. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Sure you can... That didn't go too well, but I wasn't really kinda... whatever. So we're gonna maybe... I don't know. We'll go ahead and do that again. This time without as much faffing about. We'll grab this hammer. This will be our Megaton hammer. I wonder if I could just... Brutal. So, hookshot and Megaton hammer. Yeah, we'll do this. Home run! Nice. Whoop. Ugh, hardcore. That was kind of unsatisfying. Nice. I want that. Even if it doesn't quite work as well as it should now. I want it. Give him. Oh. Brutal. Wow. At my real height, this is an enormous hammer. I'm gonna see if I can bash this guy into the spikes here. Give him a stage fatality. Ooh. Oh no. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Like a little firework. Whatever. We'll go back to the one-handed hammer. Offers me a bit more control over where I'm sending these guys. Just a bit more. Wow, he's still alive. He isn't. Oh gods. We'll leave him there. I don't know. This isn't the most exciting stream, I suppose. Just sort of a blasé workout stream. I know I'm usually a bit more engaging than this. I don't care. It's just one of those days, I suppose. Oh man, there wasn't a spike there. There should have been. Oh, okay. Well, that worked for him. Nice. Wow, you guys can survive a lot. Whoa! I want your paddle. You know, considering my height, it's absolutely enormous. I'm like Cloud. Except I can't actually use this with one hand. If I try, it's just kind of all wibbly wobbly. I can't wait for the Knuckles controllers to come out so I can stop bashing the front end of my controllers against the wall. Bisected. Nice. Oh, come on. Really? Whoa. Cool. Sometimes it cuts them in half, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the game's mood, I guess. Just recenter. Um, yeah, you'll notice the leather armor doesn't so much shatter as it does just kind of get knocked off. I don't know, I keep trying to do that awesome thing where you launch yourself forward and just completely bisect them on the way through. It just doesn't seem to be working. Like, I'll hit them, sure, but... Nice. I don't know, we may end up ending the stream early. Whoa! I'm not feeling too well physically. It's probably the Tex-Mex I had last night. Nice. Whoa! Yeah. You can tell I'm a bladed weapon type person. I don't much like... having to smash. I prefer slicing, dicing, chopping, bifurcating. Alright. I'm gonna call it there, actually. Yeah, I do. Yes, I'm aware. No, but I might have hurt the controller. But yeah, we're gonna call it there, everyone. Thanks for joining if you did. And I will see you around.